Right now, a man is charged in court as we learn more information about a deadly hit and run from over the weekend, what police say helped them make an arrest. Also, the man accused of a deadly shooting in Janesville last year reaches a plea deal with prosecutors. And after a 2-year hiatus, talks on redeveloping the Alliant Energy Center are back on, what the committee is now considering. Welcome to News 3 Now at 6. Heartbreaking new details tonight in a deadly hit and run on Madison's east side this weekend. Suspect Anthony Moore of Madison in court today. Kyle Pozorski has gone through the court records and joins us live from the scene. Kyle?
Well, Eric, I'm here on the corner of Aberg Avenue and Shopko Drive. It was here on Saturday when the hit and run incident left a woman dead. Today in Dane County Court, the man accused of the hit and run was formally charged and a cash bond was set at $100,000. Anthony Moore is accused of killing 40-year-old Nicole McDougall of Madison. A police report shows that Moore was driving at more than 50 miles per hour in a 45-mile-per-hour zone, never braking before hitting her while she was crossing the road. Madison police say with help from witnesses crucial when making them find Moore with less than an hour of the initial call.
The fact that those people came forward and provided information, remained on scene, that allowed our officers to basically find this vehicle and make an arrest within hours of this incident happening.
Witnesses provided details about the vehicle, which fled the scene, saying it was a black sedan. The report also claims Moore called police saying his vehicle was stolen. Officers were able to track it down shortly after that call. Moore's next court appearance will be on May 31st. Reporting here in Madison, Kyle Pozorski for News 3 Now.
Kyle, thank you. The Dane County Medical Examiner's Office identified the person who was shot and killed early Sunday on Madison's east side. He is 32-year-old Raheem Blue of Madison, who was pronounced dead at a local hospital. Madison police say Blue was found with gunshot wounds at a lounge in the 3700 block of East Washington. A bystander reported seeing a large group of people near the area and heard later that an argument had broken out. A woman who suffered life-threatening injuries last week when her vehicle rolled over and entered a retention pond has died. The Dane County Medical Examiner's Office identifying that woman as 83-year-old Betty Stenjum of Monona. Emergency crews were called to the intersection of U.S. Highway 51 at Severson Road just after 10 on Friday morning after the crash was reported. Officials say Stenjum died from injuries sustained in the crash. A man charged in a Janesville workplace shooting that left one person dead last year, pleading to a lesser charge today. This is part of a plea deal reached with prosecutors in Rock County. Kevin Todd, previously charged with 1 count of first-degree intentional homicide and 4 counts of recklessly endangering safety. Online records show he pleaded guilty to a single count of second-degree intentional homicide. In exchange, prosecutors dismissed the recklessly endangering safety charges. Todd opened fire at Precision Drawn Metals. This was April of last year after working at the business for only a week. In a criminal complaint, Todd alleged he had been bullied at the company, but employee statements to police did not support those claims. After a short chase, Todd was arrested. He'll be back in court in August for sentencing. Let's turn it over now to your First Warn forecast, and here's Julian Seawright.
Well, things are still rather comfortable as we're getting into the rest of this evening, though they are still warm as well. One thing we're going to be watching for, though, folks, is we still have that air quality advisory throughout all of Wisconsin and parts of southern Minnesota until we get into around 11 p.m. for tonight. So those who are within the sensitive groups, that will be who have lung disease or any kind of asthma issues, limit your exposure outdoors, as we are going to be looking at the air quality to be a bit lessened throughout much of the rest of this evening. Now, we're still dealing with a little bit of that wildfire smoke, but it's really starting to clear up quite a bit. Not as hazy throughout much of southern Wisconsin, but it is still there. Here in Madison, as of right now, we're going to see those temperatures hold into the 80s at least for another hour or two, and we're going to slide into those 70s and in the 60s eventually by the time we get into midnight. But overnight is where we're going to really see any kind of improvement or cooler air. We're looking at middle 50s for tonight here in Madison by the time we get into the overnight heading out the door. But for tomorrow, it's going to be a bit of a different story. We had some 80s today. We're looking to fall back into the 60s for tomorrow. We'll talk about the cool down and what we can expect for this weekend in just a few moments. Until then, over to you.
Julian, thank you. It has been 2 weeks now since that explosion rocked the condo complex on Madison's west side. 8 families were displaced that day. by what was initially described as some sort of propane explosion. The complex owner says the building is beyond repair and will be razed. We're still awaiting word from investigators to confirm exactly what initiated that blast. A woman is taken to a hospital early this morning after a house fire that happened in Reedsburg. Emergency crews were called to the 200 block of West 2nd Street just before 4 a.m. after the fire was reported. 3 people were able to escape the house with help from a responding officer. Firefighters were able to rescue a woman from the 2nd floor, and crews were able to extinguish that fire. The cause of the incident is under investigation. Dozens of people in Milwaukee are working to help curb violence and make their communities safer. They've joined the Promise Keepers program, a part of the city's Office of Violence Prevention. Members of the program will be sent to 13 different areas in hopes of making communities safer. Yesterday, a peace walk was held as the first event during the city's Peace Week. It comes hours after the district attorney's office announced the arrests of nearly 100 people involved in more than 100 shootings the past 2 years.
The damage done to this community has been substantial. The message has to be sent that violent behavior will be held accountable.
Investigators say that deadly crime spree all started after the death of a 17-year-old in 2020, which sparked a feud and retaliation between different gang-like groups. Over 30 of those people arrested for those shootings were teens. State lawmakers are warning that Milwaukee could face bankruptcy if Republican leaders continue to fight over shared revenue. They also warned that smaller communities around the state would also struggle paying their bills. Right now, state GOP leaders are arguing over if Milwaukee can raise its sales tax. State law does not allow for cities to declare bankruptcy. That means the legislature would have to vote to allow Milwaukee to take that step if no deal is reached and the city runs out of money. Republican State Senator Mary Felskowski says without that additional money, Milwaukee would be forced to cut 545 police officers and more than 200 firefighters in order to offset pension costs. For the first time in 2 years, the effort to transform the Alliant Energy Center is being revisited. People who are part of the project say it's a prime spot right off the Beltline, just minutes from downtown. Our Catherine Merck shows us from the sky what's being considered.
Everyone that's been in or around Madison has these memories that are very positive.
If you're from the Madison area, you can likely recall at least one fond day inside the Alliant Energy Center.
I grew up going to the UW Badger hockey games there, so that means a lot to me.
The average attendee might come to a wrestling tournament, it might come to World Dairy, maybe a horse show.
For the first time since 2021, the Alliant Energy Center Redevelopment Committee is back to revisit some of those memories and try to make them even better. The committee's first steps will look at what's needed since they first started these plans prior to the pandemic.
And we have funding in the current 2023 county budget for that. And what that's going to do is look at what the needs are right now in the market and what we can do to attract more events.
The early conversations about this development include all elements of the Alliant Energy Center grounds, including the beloved Coliseum.
We're looking at outside space and developing the property, outdoor gardens, etc., that people would feel comfortable sitting in or transitioning between buildings, incoming traffic and how we handle the traffic and the parking, and then it's the buildings themselves and what do we do with the buildings and enhancing and making them really sort of usable.
On top of just improving the 164-acre campus, the committee is collaborating with other major developments in the area to create a space for the surrounding community.
One thing we hope to do, I would like to see is, more open space, for nearby residents so that they can enjoy the space as well.
The project is still in its early stages and lots of ideas are in the works, but the committee is united on making sure more happy memories are made here.
This is an important area. It's a great area. It's really strategic.
That's what we're in the business of doing, leaving memories with people.
Reporting in Madison, I'm Catherine Merck, News 3 Now.
Dane County is pitching in to fund Centro Hispano's new home. Today, the county announced that $6.85 million would be used to help fund the new headquarters at the corner of Cypress Way at Hughes Place. The new facility is set to feature a fountain, an outdoor market space, a play area as well. Centro set a fundraising goal for the project at just over $20 million. Their fundraising campaign had already raised $16 million.
Usually we see around 7,000 individuals a year, about 2,500 families. Our building is an old print shop. Now this new space is going to allow us the room to really grow, to see more families. We're expecting to double the number of youth that we see in the space and just create a sense of community for the fastest growing demographic in the city.
The Dane County Board approved using $2 million in American Rescue Plan Act funding and $4.85 million from the state's Neighborhood Investment Fund. Still ahead on News 3 Now at 6, what new data is showing about America's deadly drug epidemic. And changes are coming to how the best colleges are to be determined. The new methods that will be used to decide the rankings. That's just ahead.
Summer's here, and with a new Toyota, you can go out and have s'more fun. Whoa, whoa. Yeah, that's crispy. Anyone?
Every new Toyota comes with Toyota Care. That's the value you can expect from Toyota. Toyota, let's go places.
How can you make a difference in the world when there is so much need?
Be a mentor.
Young people need a positive role model to succeed and navigate life's challenges. Think about someone in your life who helped you get where you are today. A mentor assures young people that someone cares and makes them feel like they matter. Learn about mentorship opportunities in the 608 at unitedmadison.com/mentoring. Brought to you by Fearing's Audio Video Security and United Madison.
Steinhaffel's Memorial Day sales event is happening now. Find amazing bonus buys like a Beauty Rest Queen mattress just $4.99, or this solid wood table only $5.29, and choose your own seating style starting at just $129. This sofa $7.99, a queen bed only $7.99. Plus, with Steinhaffel's special 72-month financing, your new room just got even more affordable. The Memorial Day sales event only at Steinhaffel's and steinhaffels.com.
Get 11% off everything now at Menards. Suncast storage sheds are perfect for storing outdoor tools and equipment. Save big on this Suncast vertical outdoor storage unit. Just $179.99 after rebate. From outdoor storage to backyard get-togethers, Shelter Logic has you covered. This 3-in-1 shelter converts from a canopy to a fully enclosed storage shelter or expanded event tent in just minutes. Right now, only $269.98 after 11% rebate.
Save big money at Menards.
Summer's here, and with a new Toyota, you can go out and have s'more fun. Whoa, whoa. Yeah, that's crispy. Anyone?
Every new Toyota comes with Toyota Care. That's the value you can expect from Toyota. Toyota, let's go places.
You're watching News 3 Now at 6.
Welcome back. New data is suggesting that last year was the deadliest yet in the drug epidemic, with fentanyl playing a major factor. The powerful synthetic opioid is now involved in nearly 2/3 of all overdose deaths in the U.S. According to CDC data, nearly 1/3 of all overdose deaths in 2021, more than 31,000, involved the drug. But the data also suggests there are other underlying factors driving up deaths. Overdose deaths involving meth are also rising, actually at an even faster pace than those involving fentanyl. Good news in the fight against HIV. According to the CDC, new infections are trending down in the U.S. A new report shows there were about 32,000 new HIV infections in 2021. That is a 12% drop from 2017. Among gay and bisexual men ages 13 to 24, annual infections were down 34% during those years. Currently, the CDC estimates that about 1.2 million people in the U.S. have HIV. About 1 in 8 don't know they have it. Millions of Americans are struggling to pay their energy bills. According to the National Energy Assistance Directors Association, nearly 20 million households are behind on utility payments. That was as of March. Those households owe a total of $19.5 billion, about $4 billion higher than just a year ago. The high cost of cooling homes during the summer is expected to make the problem worse. U.S. News and World Report says this year's best colleges rankings rely on a new methodology. It says the list being released this week will put a greater emphasis on the success of diverse students. It's removing the factors of alumni giving, class size, and faculty degrees. The annual rankings are influential and can be open to manipulation based on the data that schools submit. Critics also say they emphasize elitism rather than helping students find the right fit. After the break, a unique bike ride returning to Madison next month. And the Village of Oregon introduces another piece of local art to its public tour, when and where you'll be able to see the pieces themselves. And cooler conditions arrive tomorrow. Julian with a complete look at the forecast when we come back.
FlexSteel is furniture that comforts, furniture for living, furniture with a heart of steel. Save big during our FlexSteel authorized sale, going on now at Waunakee Furniture, ETC.
Come see Tootsie, the Tony Award-winning comedy musical that tells the story of Michael Dorsey, a desperate, out-of-work actor who's got a plan to change his life. But what he really needs to get is a clue.
Get your tickets today at overture.org.
Water is one of nature's most beautiful and life-sustaining resources. At no fault of their own, many Wisconsin utility customers are facing a shutoff to their water service. This leaves them without the one life-giving resource we all take for granted. And those hardest hit are on fixed incomes, juggling multiple temporary jobs, or those who lost full-time jobs in sectors hardest hit by the pandemic. If someone you care about needs a hand up, your local Wisconsin energy providers are working together to keep you safely in your home and your water, heat, and power on. If you are in danger of losing your water service, call 833-H2O-WISC, 833-426-9472. You may not ask for it, but we're here to help.
The ultimate LEGO fan experience. Don't miss Brick Universe, May 27th and 28th. Meet LEGO artists and see incredible works of art. Fun for everyone. Tickets are selling out fast. Visit BrickUniverseUSA.com. BrickUniverseUSA.com.
Recent hailstorms in your area may have caused damage to your roof. Do you want to trust the roof over your house to unknown, out-of-state roofing companies that appear out of nowhere? Who should you trust to fix your roof and do it right? Fry Construction. For nearly 30 years, Fry Construction and Home Improvement has earned the trust of area homeowners. When the roof over your family is damaged, we jump into action. After all, we're your neighbor too. Call Fry Construction and Home Improvement now for your free hail inspection.
Flex Steel is furniture that comforts, furniture for living, furniture with a heart of steel. Save big during our Flex Steel authorized sale, going on now at Waunakee Furniture, ETC.
You're watching News 3 Now at 6.
Welcome back. The Village of Oregon unveiling the latest additions to its public art tour today. Back in 2022, the village made a commitment to increase the visibility of local art, installing new public art throughout the community, and unveiled were 10 new sculptures today. That includes the Culver's Blue Spoon, the village's Panther mascot, and Rosie the Riveter.
It's been talked about for years. We wanted to bring more public art to the village, so we're excited. And a lot of the stuff that you're going to see is local, by local artists.
And if you want to get up close and personal with these sculptures, they're scattered about the village, or attend the Oregon Art Fair, which is June 10th at Waterman Park. The 13th World Naked Bike Ride is returning to Madison June 17th. The ride celebrates body positivity and the rejection of fossil fuel dependency. It'll begin at 11. Registered participants will be informed of a gathering point at least one day ahead of time. Participants do not have to be naked to join. It's important to know that. Bicycles are not required. Any human-powered transport is allowed as long as riders respect each other, traffic rules, and the spirit of the event. With this week's warmer weather, you might be ready to hit the local pools and splash pads. Good news, some are opening this weekend. Madison Parks offering 3 different splash pads around the city. They're located at Cypress, Elver, and Rindall Parks. The splash pads are free to use, and they open daily from 10 a.m. and they'll close at 8 p.m. Next couple days, though, a little cool for us after some warm weather we've had the last few days. Julian now with our complete forecast.
That's right, but it's just going to be a brief period of some cooler weather. We're getting into the weekend where it's going to be perfect to head out into the pool or even going into anywhere where it's nice to be outside. But getting in straight into our weather headlines, this is what we're going to be expecting for out the next few days. We are looking for potentially having those air quality concerns throughout the rest of this evening heading into tonight. Otherwise, tomorrow and for Thursday, we're expecting 60s for us here in southern Wisconsin. And then heading into the weekend, we're warming right back up. In 80s by the time we get into our Memorial Day is what we're expecting. Now, taking a look at what we have as of right now. Again, the air quality concerns. We have an advisory for all of Wisconsin and parts of southern Minnesota until we get into 11 p.m. for tonight. So for those who are in that sensitive group, who have any kind of lung disease or have asthma issues, try to limit as much exposure to the outdoors as much as possible, as we are looking for some areas to be a bit unhealthy in terms of the air quality throughout the course of this evening. Now, as of right now, from our visible track, we're dealing with just a bit of some of that haze still throughout much of southern Wisconsin, though we are staying on the dry side. Tonight, 55 degrees for us here in Madison, 57 in Janesville, and 59 for Platteville. So the 50s are going to rule the southern Wisconsin areas we get into tonight. And then as we head into tomorrow, a bit of some change. We've had 80s for the last couple of days. Now we're going into the middle 60s. But take note of what's happening for areas to the east. From Waukesha all the way to Milwaukee, they're going to be into the upper and middle 50s. And then the further west you go, the bit more mild it will be. Mid-60s for Madison, but into the southwest, we're going to be seeing those 70s as that cool lake breeze is not going to reach all or impact the southwest just as much as it would for Dane County and areas to the east and north. So for Dane County and areas to the north or east, just expect a cooler day for tomorrow. It's still going to be rather nice, and it will also be quiet. But that shift in winds coming in from overnights starting for our early Wednesday morning is going to bring that lake breeze throughout southern Wisconsin, keeping temperatures as you're heading out the door into the upper 50s. Lunchtime, we're looking at mid-60s, and in the early afternoon, that's really where we're going to be holding on to, those mid-60s throughout southern Wisconsin, except for the southwestern area, which could be seeing those lower 70s. Getting into Wednesday nights, we may see some clouds increase, but overall things are going to stay rather quiet, but we might see a stray shower for areas just to the north and west as we get into our early Thursday morning, but we're not looking for that to really be sufficient or even hitting the ground by the time we get into our Thursday morning. And then Thursday afternoon, again, it's going to be quiet, and on top of it, very similar to what we're having for our Wednesday. But a quick preview of what we have for Memorial Day weekend. We've all been keeping our eye on the weekend in itself because we want to get into the pool or just even hit the lakes. Well, it's still going to be chilly in terms of the lake water, but we're still going to see temperatures feels like summer, especially by the time we get into Sunday and for Memorial Day in itself. Cool mornings, but it's going to stay dry throughout the next stretch of days. We're only going to start to see a bit of some change once we get to potentially Tuesday of next week and throughout next Friday, where temperatures themselves will stay into the mid-80s, but we're not looking at a whole lot of change in terms of any precipitation or going from sunny and dry weather.
Julian. Thank you, Julian. The DNR is now offering annual vehicle admission stickers online. For Wisconsin residents, that sticker costs $28. It grants access to all state parks and forests for the rest of the year. If you purchase one online, you can use your email confirmation as proof of purchase while you're waiting for that sticker to arrive in the mail. We have a link to buy a sticker at channel3000.com. Just look for this story. Zach?
Coming up in sports, Madison College is heading to their home away from home this week. Why this trip is a brand new experience for a bunch of the Wolfpack. That's next on News 3 Now.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
Hy-Vee's daily deals for Wednesday are Doritos, just $1.99. Tyson Anytizers, grilled and ready, or strips, just $5.99. And asparagus, just $2.48 a pound. Wednesday only at Hy-Vee.
This is the house that angels built. Attic Angels Senior Living Community is built on a foundation of authentic, local care. A framework for living well. Windows to take in the beautiful future. And it's crowned by the pride that one's home is one's castle. This is the house that angels built. Attic Angel Community. Independent homes and 4 levels of assisted living. Built with the help of angels.
Do you know the secret to having the perfect lawn? Maple Leaf Landscaping does. With their 6-step turf care program, you can have a beautiful lawn all season long. Check their website for special discounts and leave the yard work to Maple Leaf, your year-round property care experts.
Did you leave the lights on?
No.
What the?
I'll go check it out.
I'm not a raccoon whisperer, but I can help you upgrade all this.
With free installation on Feltco windows, siding, doors, and roofing, plus no money down and no interest for 1 year. There's never been a better time to upgrade your home.
This offer ends soon. Hurry. Call now.
Call 866 for Feltco.
Ruggability. We straight made that word up. How else to describe the otherwise indescribable, rugged, capable, incredible versatility and affordability of a Honda SUV? Kelley Blue Book's KBB.com calls Honda the best value brand. Car and Driver calls Honda the winningest brand in 10 Best history. But we like ruggability, and you'll like the Incredifantabulous deals, so see your Wisconsin Heartland Honda dealer today. Honda gets Wisconsin.
Hy-Vee's daily deals for Wednesday are Doritos, just $1.99. Tyson Anytizers, grilled and ready, or strips, just $5.99. And asparagus, just $2.48 a pound. Wednesday only at Hy-Vee.
Tomorrow morning, Josh shows you what's new at the duck pond as the Madison Mallards get ready for Monday's home opener.
Plus, send us a weather photo and you could win a first warn weather umbrella.
It looks like this warm weather will come to an end with a cold front. Join us tomorrow morning between 4:30 and 7.
Today was day 2 of voluntary OTAs for the Packers, and even though the guys are just in shorts instead of pads, getting to this phase in the offseason means training camp's right around the corner. Well, kinda. During this phase, there's a lot of installs, so the new guys can learn the system, which is why most of the vets don't attend. Jordan Love, though, was there, and even though it's his first year starting, Matt LaFleur doesn't view him as one of the new guys.
It's not like he's a true rookie. So he's seen a decent amount, especially being able to, get the majority of the snaps this time of the year, the last couple of years. So we're not necessarily coddling him in any sense of the word of that. Just in terms of we're just installing our plays, and whatever the defense presents, I mean, he's got to react.
Athlon Sports released their preseason All-Big Ten teams, and a couple of Badgers found themselves on the all-conference squads for the upcoming season. Braylon Allen was the lone Wisconsin representative on the first team, while Chimere DK, Jack Nelson, and Muma Jongmeta were all second-teamers. The Badgers kick off their season in 102 days against Buffalo. Making it to the NJCAA Division II World Series is nothing new for Madison College. This year's trip is the program's 5th straight. But unlike last year's World Series squad, this team is brand new. 25 out of the 30 guys have never been there, and that's the challenge facing Mike Davenport, preparing a group of freshmen for the big stage. But after closing the season with 12 straight wins, his freshmen aren't playing like freshmen anymore.
Freshmen are told that when you walk in here, we need you to be sophomores by tournament time. So let's try to learn as much as we can so we don't have to wait till next fall to figure out the things that we need to know when it really matters this year.
It's going to be a little bit different than last year. We're all going to kind of be big-eyed on the first day, looking at all those new teams, new stadium, all that good stuff. But hopefully we can just play our game and compete at our highest level.
And Steve Stricker and Jerry Kelly are down in Frisco, Texas this week to play in the Senior PGA Championship. The 4-day event tees off Thursday, and Kelly will start his quest for a major on hole 1 at 8:16 in the morning. Stricker hits the tee box at 1:42 on hole 10.
I love how you're counting down football. 102 days.
Only 102.
Precisely. It's
We're right
coming
there,
fast.
yeah.
It's faster. It'll be here before you know it. A little cool down the next couple days.
Yeah, just a little bit, but it's going to be favorable, especially once we get into this weekend. We're talking about 60s for tomorrow and Thursday, but this weekend we're keeping our eyes on Memorial Day weekend and how that's going to be panning out for us. Well, it's going to stay dry. It's going to be warm, especially as we get into our evening hours. But folks, that's also going to carry into much of the next 6 to 10 days, starting off with June, as temperatures are going to hold into the 80s into next week.
All right, Julian, thanks. Thanks for joining us for News 3 Now at 6. Have a great evening. We'll be back here tonight at 10.